If you're watching this video, you think that your face, your height, your race, your wrist size is preventing you from getting girls. You think that these things are fundamentally limiting you. So you think that, okay, there's no point in me approaching women. What's the point? They're just going to reject me anyway. Perhaps you've lived a life of just constant rejection, even in school. You think, maybe at age 8, a girl rejected you and it just hurt you. And then, all throughout school, all throughout college, you're not getting really chicks. It's just been a non-existent dating life. And these insecurities have become magnified over time because they've been self-reinforced by the constant life of rejection. I know I was there. So this was a foregone conclusion for me. Years ago, I used to think this way. Now, in fact, when I say years ago, I literally mean like a year or two ago, probably a year and a half. I used to stress about these things. Now, it just never crosses my mind, right? Maybe like so rarely, I can't even think as to when I would think these thoughts or have these feelings. They're pretty much completely gone. So this video is basically for anyone who's at the beginner stage of you realize these feelings and you realize your lack of success and you just want to do something about it. You want to take that first step. What I'm going to show you is the crucial first step that I did that really is going to help you out. It's something which you can really relate to heavily and it's going to work. So, first of all, here's the problem. The problem is that you don't think that you can get laid because of something about you that you can't change, right? So for me personally, I was insecure about all of these things. My face, I thought I was ugly. My height, I'm 5'8". I thought that's too short. Girls are never going to like me. They're always going to cheat on me with a guy who's 6'2" or 6'4", or they just, they look at me and they think I'm repulsive. I looked in the mirror. This is horrible, and this is how I used to think. I would look in the mirror and I'd think like, I'm just repulsive to women. And it was just this firm belief. It was a foregone conclusion. I used to think because of my ectomorph build, because I'm Indian, I thought this would, fundamentally limit me. And it was just this, it was awful. I'm so happy I'm not there anymore. Anyway, enough about me. I thought this was true. So this prevented me from actually taking action. Because, of course, what's the point in taking action if I'm just going to get rejected all the time? And, I thought, it's fruitless. There's no point. Just give up. All of these things, right? These were the kind of things I had to battle with. And in order to do a few approaches, my first few approaches, it meant taking action in doing the approaches despite 90% of my brain believing fully that it was pointless because they're just going to reject me or look at me as though I'm lesser because of these things that I can't change. My face, my race, my height, my wrist size, my skinniness. So here's the solution. The solution is that you need to find someone on the internet that is succeeding despite some kind of similarly repulsive attributes of themselves that they can't change. So I'm going to just show you now on a paper what I mean with a diagram. So this is step 1, find inspiration. What you really need is to find someone who's getting girls, someone on the internet, right? Someone who's getting girls despite having those things, those attributes that you view in yourself to be preventing you from getting girls, right? Or at least on a similar level. I'm going to expand on this a little bit, okay? What this is going to give you is a glimmer of hope, real hope, not false hope where you think, fuck, maybe, not false hope where you think, oh, I'm just going to believe in it for the sake of giving myself hope. No, hope as in, look, I see this guy getting results. It seems plausible. And because of that, I think, oh my God, literally for me, if I put in the hard work, maybe I can get the results too. Now, for someone who's succeeded already, this sounds quite stupid, but for someone who's in that black pill place, which you probably are, trust me, this hope, black pill guys shit on this, but trust me, the hope is really what gets you out of it. Because with the hope, you can convince yourself to take action, right? You can't take action if you think it's fucking impossible. You won't take action. So you find the inspiration gives you the hope, and now you're convinced to take action because you think to yourself, if he can do it, I can do it. That's absolutely key. Next thing you do is you take action, you fail again and again, you learn from your failures, and then you eventually succeed. This we're not too focused on in this video. I'm just going to focus on the hope. So now I'm going to show you the people in my personal journey who inspired me to actually take action and get out of it, find a glimmer of hope. And again, with this, you only need like 5% of hope. Bro, you do not need like so much hope and so much convincing. You just need a glimmer. Because with a Glimmer, that's all it really takes in order for you to take action. And when you eventually do take action, you're not going to be wholly convinced. For me, it was like 90%, 80%. I was convinced this is probably not going to work. But eventually what happens, right? This is what happens. And I probably should have added this to the diagram, is that you start off with like 10% hope, right? 20% hope max. And then you're convinced to take action. When you do take action, you'll get little bits of success. Let me actually write that down, right? This is what happens. You get little bits of success. And these little bits of success reinforce the hope. Do you see what I mean? And instead of the hope being 10, 20%, the hope now increases to like 30%. For example, for me, I went and did cold approach, and a girl who was like normal looking, like smiles at me, right? Or maybe she has a good interaction with me, or, you know, maybe I get her number, maybe I go on a date with her, whatever. With these little things, these little interactions, your hope will go higher and higher. And as your hope gets higher and higher, you know, you become more convinced to take action, you take more failures, and it's just this flywheel effect. And trust me, it's beautiful, and I would highly recommend that you go through this process. Anyway, I'm going to show you now who was inspiring to me. So here we are on my computer screen. As you can see, this guy's called Tom Torero. Sadly, he's dead now. He actually killed himself, which is unrelated, but rest in peace. And he was truly inspiring to me because, as you can see, he's got bad looks. And if you think to yourself, I'm ugly, I'm ugly, which I used to think, to you know, a fairly large degree. This guy, I looked at his face, and he doesn't look that bad looking there. But if we see other photos, and if you see him in video, like he really isn't a good looking guy at all, right? And so I saw this guy, and I saw that he was getting girls, and I saw loads of his videos, and just gradually over time, like I thought to myself, holy shit, if he's getting girls and he looks like that, then maybe this guy's like 6'1", right? So maybe at the time I thought, okay, he's 6'1", he's getting good looking girls. I'm 5'8". Maybe I'm better looking than him, so maybe I'm not going to get as good girls with him, but with time, maybe I can get girls that are similar or a little bit less. Like, it was giving me this hope that I could at least get something just by watching the videos and just by looking at him and thinking to myself, if this guy can do it, I can do it. It gave me that 5-10% hope for me, enough such that I could take action. And this guy wasn't my only inspiration. This guy was also an inspiration to me. As you can see, average looking white guy, probably better than the last guy, Tom Torero. But again, this guy's like 5'10", 5'9". So again, my height was starting to think to myself, okay, obviously women don't like me because I'm short. Again, I still used to believe that. I don't believe that anymore. I used to think women don't like me because I'm short, but this guy's short, and you know, and I mean, I was watching videos like this where he's on dates with girls, and that girl's really pretty. So I thought to myself, holy shit, like if he's doing it, then you know, possibly I can do it too. This guy as well, Deepak. This was one of the final nails in the coffin for me, because this guy's uglier than me, and he's actually 40 and bold and Indian with an accent, thick Indian accent. So this guy was my third inspiration. With these three people inspiring me, right, I went from a place where, let's go back to the diagram in a minute. I went from a place where I found inspiration, right, found inspiration that gave me hope, enough hope that I could take that first little bit of action, right? Inspiration, that glimmer of hope. Just imagine in your life, right? If you're in a place where you're highly black-pilled, and you kind of just have that sunshine through the clouds moment where it's just like, maybe, just maybe I'm not completely fucked. That's what you need. You need that moment where it's like, maybe, just maybe, like probably not, but maybe I'm not completely fucked. And also, what other option do you have? Laying down and rotting is not a legitimate solution. And if you're watching so far, chances are you're really serious about overcoming this problem. You're not the type of guy to give up. You're not the type of guy to live a life. You're probably in your 20s or early 30s, or like, probably in your 20s, right? You're not fucked. If, you know, there's a chance. At least there's a chance, and you have to take those scraps. You have to take those scraps, and you have to roll with it. You have to take that glimmer of hope. Convince yourself just to take some action. And as you take some action, as you do some approaches, you will get these. You will get little bits of success. It might take you 10, 20, 30, 100 approaches. It might take you just a lot more reps than you think. For me personally, luckily for me, I got it quite quick. the first approach I ever actually did in a coffee shop, I got the girl's Snapchat. And then the second time I did approaches, I actually got a couple numbers. So that was really, you know, I'm saying this from a very privileged position. For you, it might not be as quick, or it might be as quick, right? Those little bits of success reinforces the hope. That hope goes up, right? From 10%, it's now like 15, 20%. And believe me, this hope, it goes up quick. If you get a number and the girl smiles at you, from you going from a position where you think all girls think you're a repulsive little creature, which is what I thought, for now, oh my God, that girl liked me. I could see it on her face. She smiled at me. She was attracted. I could feel it in the moment. She gave me her number. I texted the number. Maybe she didn't reply, but I'm taking these small wins, mate. I'm taking these small wins. And these small wins is enough to boost hope, and it's enough to convince me further to take more action. As I take more action, of course, more of these things happen. And of course, you're failing. Like, you're not, you know, there's so much failure. But again, it's this flywheel nature. And then you learn from failures, and eventually, you know, a year later, when I started cold approach was October 2020. I think 2 years later, I finally cracked the code. Was it 2 years? It was 2 years. No, it was 1 year. 1 year I cracked it in October. And then that's when I just really started to succeed with chicks. And now I'm in a position where my height, let me turn around. I'm in a position now where, like, my height, my race, my face, none of these just come into question. I just see myself as a normal guy, and I've completely overcome that mindset. And I really, really want the same for you too, because I know how fucking painful it can be. I know how it can really consume your life, and it can take up a lot of your thought energy. Hope this video has helped. I really, you know, as I said, first step, find inspiration, dude. Find inspiration. And then as you find inspiration, it's going to take you time. It's going to take you time to convince yourself. When you take that first bit of action and you get those first little wins, man, I can tell you, you're onto one of the most beautiful journeys of self-overcoming and really just conquering one of those things that's probably making you miserable. You're going to feel so much happier. Hope you enjoyed the vid. I put a little bit more planning into this video as opposed to my previous ones. If you like it, comment. I want to get in touch with you. I want to talk to just see who the fuck is watching these, honestly. So yeah, comment. I want to get in touch. I want to see what I want to, I want to get in touch, and contact me on Telegram as well. More than happy to talk to you for free. No, not selling anything. So yeah,